I think it's our goal, just like you would consult the same lawyer every time as a part of your team, even though the lawyer isn't in your organization.
Sure.
You consider him a part, an accountant as well,
right.
Maybe even your insurance provider.
Yeah.
And through education and through a relationship with the clients, and us providing and being transparent in our invoicing and our operations practices, inviting them to the office, we hope that we're establishing ourselves as the accountant that they go to every time. If
right.
it's a snow removal, snow and ice management need, well, BSR is the part of their team that they go to.
They go to. You're the expert.
Which is a lot of credit and a lot of best practices, Brian. Thanks to all your good help has come from SIMA, the Snow and Ice Management Association, and we've incorporated a lot of those best practices into our organization.
Well, that's another question. I'm talking about. You guys seem to be pretty precise about how you look at these freezing rains, and you're doing liquid application pre-treats for snow, correct?
It's more granular.
More granular
pre-treat, like a coated salt?
Coated salt, or we'll do, if we got extreme temperatures, we have spiked the salt or made the salt hot or to activate better. But it's predominantly hard substance, right?
Okay. So how much more scientific are you now than you were even like 5 or 10 years ago? I mean, are you continuously progressing in that? Are you guys looking at the weather much closer, monitoring those pavement temperatures much closer than you were 5 or 10 years ago? What's the progression there? Are you still learning, or are you guys...
We're always learning, right? We're always learning, but I got to say with the resources, again, SIMA, with technology, GPS, weather systems, in-ground temperatures. Talk about the last 5 years, and you've been this long time as I have.
Right.
There's really been a huge jump, progress in all those technologies to help. Pushing snow is not rocket science. Anybody can do it.
Right.
But who's going to be able to do it better?
Right.
Who's going to be able to spend the resources, have the right people on the bus, in the right seats on the bus, providing the best service for the client? Now more than ever, with all the resources out there that you have, you're able to do even a better, more efficient, effective job for that client. You need to use all those resources.
Right.
You need to use the best practices. You need to use the weather systems that are out there, because you don't want to put down a false salt application where you put it down and you got to explain why you put it down and it didn't snow.
Right.
You don't want to put something down and, as Terry mentioned earlier, the rain washes it all away and you got to explain that. Quite honestly, those mistakes and those errors are of the past. Moving forward with technology, you should be able to even give a better service.
Sure.
Point.
Well, it's interesting.
And as a credit to Carl, he's been doing this 26 years, and I've been a part of his team now, going into my 6th snow season with him. And as a credit to Carl, it's never sit back and rest on your laurels. It's what is out there. Carl, you've been coming to the show. This I think is your 7th or 8th straight year coming to the symposium. And a conversation we had is, okay, what are we going to get different out of the symposium? Because it looks like some of the topics are similar. And so it's something we question, because it's an expense to bring all of us from St. Louis, Missouri, out to Providence. But there's always something, and I think we divide and conquer, and we go to different areas and talk with different people. But there's always something new, and we're at the end of the day, we're putting our heads together, seeing how we can stay at the forefront of the industry and incorporate things like a real-time tracking system or a mapping system, so we can standardize our bidding and mapping processes. And staying at the forefront and not just saying, well, this is the way we've always done it, so this is the way we're going to do it.
Sure.
But how can we incorporate all of these new advances and make it better?
That's great.
Off Carl's
and it's
point.
all for the client, right?
Absolutely.
That accountability is something that I think this industry historically has struggled with as a group. And I think, and I'd love to get your thoughts on this, I think accountability in terms of what product and how much you're using and invoicing and all those things are going to become more and more paramount, and they already are in the economy we've had. I'd love to hear from both of you. What kind of things are your customers asking you for that they weren't asking for 10 years ago? Maybe a better question is, where do you see our industry going in 5 years from coming from the client side, what kind of expectations are they going to have long term for you?
That's a real interesting topic, Brian. And you know, the industry, you talk about credibility, integrity, trust.
Right.
We come in the middle of the night, for the most part.
Sure.
We do this service. We tell you to trust us on how much salt we've put down, how many bags we've put on your walks, whether it's calcium or salt we've put down, or how many hours.
Right.
And our job is to make sure that that is accurate and correct. So where are we going? We now have digital cameras with all of our quality assurance people that oversee the property. So we're taking time and date stamped pictures of the precipitation.
Right.
So when Brian shows up at his office in the morning, and he got the email the night before saying, hey, listen, the snowstorm's coming in about a ½ inch and we're going to be treating it with chemicals.
Sure.
He comes in the next morning and it's all wet, no precipitation. I don't want Brian to question and say, oh, I guess the storm did not come through last night because it's all wet.
Right.
I want to be able to send him digital pictures and showing him, here's before our treatment.
Right.
Here's after our treatment at 5 o'clock a.m. That's why your 7 o'clock arrival is all wet.
Sure.
Brian then in turn has to report to his manager or the owner or the asset manager and say, listen, you know, we had a ½ inch. They treated it last night and they took care of it. So I think the documentation Terry spoke about, and Terry's been heavily involved with our tracking software where we know down to the minute when someone's on the account, off the account.
Yeah.
That is for liability
And
purposes.
is that a GPS tie-in?
That is a software call, physical call-in.
Oh, okay.
Type
So
software now.
they hit a property, they call the start, they call when they leave, kind of thing?
Very good, Brian. And then once they call to start, we make sure they're on the account with our own people, which we call quality assurance people, that then go to the account and confirm not only they're on the account, that they're doing the account correctly,
Gotcha.
that they're doing it in accordance with the way the client wants it done because of the maps the clients have filled out on where they want the snow.
Right.
They're not blocking dumpsters. They're back dragging the handicap spaces in front of the building.
Right.
So it's an entire
I love
process.
that term, quality manager. Is that
Quality assurance.
That's great. You know,
QAs.
it almost sounds like a manufacturer in some way, but it's still you're delivering a product, and you know that makes a lot of sense.
And as far as where the clients, I see the clients continuing to go down the road of more and more accountability. And I think what Carl and I have both seen is, both because of our relationship with them and as we continue to develop as a company, is they're pulling us in and making us accountable and asking Carl and Terry, hey, help me with my budget for this fiscal year. So they're asking about their budget, which is going to make us accountable to it. So we have to have good historical data and know where we've been and know where the weather's been, realizing that, you know, especially in St. Louis, weather from year to year can greatly fluctuate, but we can have them have a very good understanding of our systems and processes.
Sure.
And then apply that to the historical data to the best of our ability. And then that accountability is going to continue. And we've seen some people emerge in the market that have what I call gimmicks. You know, they're coming and saying, well, here's your price for a day, and it's going to be one price, and that's the price for the day of service, which was new to the market.
I've not heard of that.
Which was the gimmick that has now become transparent, and that's not how it really filtered through for that particular client. And then that's the accountability that's going to continue. It's not just going to be a one-year relationship. And I think looking at the relationships long term is what's going to have to occur, because the retention is what's going to allow us to grow and allow our clients to grow.
Right. Awesome. Well, gentlemen, I really appreciate your time. This has been great. You know, folks out there are going to appreciate it too, and I thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks,
Brian.
Thank you.